Welcome to the Deep Dive, everyone. Your shortcut to, well, getting informed. Today, we're diving into something pretty big, the PPC advertising market outlook to 2033. And this isn't just, a dry report. It's really a window into how pay-per-click advertising, which is such a cornerstone of digital marketing now, has totally changed how brands reach us, how they connect with consumers online. Okay, so let's start with the global view. Get a sense of the scale. In 2021, the global PPC market, it pulled in about $1.6 billion, roughly. Now, jump ahead just to 2025. That's expected to be almost $2.5 billion.
A pretty significant jump in just a few years.
Exactly. But then, look out to 2033. We're talking nearly $6 billion.
Oh, wow.
It's staggering, right?
Sure.
And that works out to a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of almost 11.75% year after year. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is that kind of growth, that sustained double-digit number.
Yeah.
It really signals a major shift that underlines how much businesses, big and small, really depend on these paid digital campaigns now.
True.
They're looking for that immediate visibility, that precise targeting, and, crucially, a clear ROI they can actually measure.
Right. The measurability is key.
Totally. PPC isn't just like one tool in the box anymore. For a lot of companies, it's becoming sort of the main engine of their digital strategy.
Absolutely. That global scale is huge, but like you said, the story gets even more interesting when we see how it breaks down region by region. Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's dig into those regional dynamics. Let me start with North America, often seen as, the pioneer in digital ads. So North America, back in 2021, they were already doing well over $500 million in PTC revenue.
A big chunk of the global total, yeah.
Right. And by 2033, that projected to soar past $2 billion. Just massive growth with a solid double-digit CAGR year on year.
And within North America, it's, well, no big surprise, the U.S. is the powerhouse.
Right.
It's looking at almost $1.7 billion by 2033. Just enormous.
Mm-hmm.
But Canada is actually growing even faster, proportionally speaking. Its CAGR is over 12%.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's set to hit over $220 million by 2033, basically quadrupling from 2021.
Wow.
And Mexico's not far behind either. Strong growth there, too, heading towards $165 million. So it's a really vibrant picture across the whole continent.
Okay, so a strong base in North America. Let's pivot over to Europe. They also have a pretty considerable slice of the PPC pie, right? Europe's ad revenues were, just under $350 million back in 2021?
Yep, around that mark.
And they're also projected to grow strongly. We're talking over $1.2 billion by 2033. Again, a very similar strong growth rate to North America, around 11.3% CAGR.
Europe's always an interesting mix, isn't it? You've got major players like Germany showing really exceptional growth.
Okay.
They're expected to top $250 million by 2033 with a CAGR over 12%.
That's significant.
Definitely. The UK and France are also looking at big increases. UK heading towards almost $185 million. France around $163 million.
Yeah.
Italy's climbing steadily too, over $128 million projected. What's maybe a bit different is, say, Russia's growth is projected a bit slower, under 10% CAGR, but still growing.
Still positive growth, though.
Oh, absolutely. And then you have Spain, Sweden, even smaller places like Denmark, Switzerland, Luxembourg, all showing really healthy double-digit growth rates. It just underscores how widespread this digital shift is across Europe.
Okay, so Europe's strong and diverse. Now, you mentioned North America as the pioneer, but the Asia-Pacific region, APAC, that seems to be where the acceleration is just off the charts. They're showing the fastest expansion globally, right?
The numbers suggest, yes.
Starting under $400 million in 2021, projected to surge past $1.6 billion by 2033. That's a regional CAGR of over 12.7%.
It's phenomenal. And you can really see the drivers behind it.
Like what?
Well, China's obviously a massive factor, leading the charge, set to exceed $500 million by 2033 alone. Very high growth rate there, almost 13%.
Wow.
Japan's a major contributor too, heading towards $260 million roughly. But India is really one to watch. It's one of the top global performers in terms of growth rate, almost 13.8% CAGR.
Incredible.
Projected to hit over $215 million. Then you've got South Korea, Australia crossing the $100 million mark. Singapore showing very strong growth, Southeast Asia as a whole, Taiwan. It's just dynamic across the board.
Right.
It's driven by that huge mobile internet boom, massive e-commerce growth. It's really reshaping the whole digital ad landscape.
Okay, from that incredible pace in APAC, let's shift gears slightly. South America started smaller, just over $100 million in 2021, but still set for pretty significant growth, yeah. Nearly $400 million by 2033.
Absolutely, and a solid CIGR too, over 12%. Consistent growth.
And within South America.
Brazil is the clear leader there, expected to hit nearly $170 million.
Okay.
Argentina is also expanding quite robustly, heading towards $70 million with a strong CAGR. But what's really noteworthy is that other countries, Colombia, Peru, Chile, they're all showing consistent double-digit growth rates too, mostly between 11 and 12%.
So broad-based growth.
Exactly. It signals real advertiser confidence, picking up across Latin America, reflecting that surge in digital consumer activity we're seeing.
Makes sense. Okay, next stop, the Middle East. Another region you described as a thriving landscape for PPC, starting from around $90 million in 2021 and set to expand quite dramatically to over $350 million by 2033. That's nearly a 12% CAGR. Also very strong.
Very strong indeed. In the Middle East, Saudi Arabia is leading the pack, projected around $97 million by 2033.
Right.
Followed closely by the UAE, Turkey, and Egypt. All are expected to contribute significantly, each likely exceeding $50 million.
Okay.
And you see Qatar and the rest of the Middle East also making notable contributions.
Yeah.
What's compelling is how this ties into broader economic diversification plans and digital transformation pushes in the region.
Ah, interesting connection.
Yeah, it's not just advertising growth in isolation. It's part of a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Again, all key players showing double-digit growth.
Okay, and that brings us finally to Africa. The market there was valued around $68 million back in 2021.
Relatively smaller starting point, yeah.
But projected to nearly quadruple by 2033, hitting over $260 million. Still maintaining a healthy annual growth rate, almost 11.4%.
That's right. And within Africa, you have key players like Nigeria and South Africa driving a lot of that.
Okay.
South Africa in particular is expected to cross the $100 million mark by 2033, showing really strong momentum with a KGR over 12%.
So similar pace to Canada or Germany.
Exactly. And Nigeria and the rest of Africa are also growing steadily. It really points to the continent's growing digital economy. Mobile internet use is just scaling up so fast. E-commerce is becoming much more central.
Yeah.
And that naturally fuels digital ad spending. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it just highlights how truly global PPC has become. It's relevant everywhere.
Absolutely. So let's try and wrap this up. What we've seen today, I mean, pay-per-click advertising isn't just growing. It feels like it's absolutely booming everywhere.
It really does.
Across basically all regions, we're seeing this surge, this consistent double-digit growth. And it's not random, right? It's fueled by clear, powerful trends, that explosion in mobile internet access, the nonstop expansion of e-commerce, the smarts being added by AI for optimizing campaigns, and just the simple fact that having a digital presence is non-negotiable now for businesses. So what does this all mean?
Well, this raises an important question, maybe for you, the listener. If you're involved in digital marketing or advertising, or maybe you just follow economic shifts, what opportunities does this next decade hold for you in this space?
Right.
Because it's incredibly dynamic.
Yeah.
The trends really suggest that anyone who can adapt, innovate within PPC, understand those regional differences we talked about, and leverage the tech, they seem really well positioned for success.
A really interesting point. We hope this deep dive has given you a much clearer view of just how much momentum there is in the PPC advertising market. So maybe something to think about as you go through your day, how these big trends in PPC might keep shaping, your own online experiences and definitely the future of digital business. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into a really dynamic part of digital marketing, essential stuff, pay-per-click advertising or PPC.
Right.
If you're trying to cut through all the noise, figure out what's actually important about how PPC is changing, what's driving it, the hurdles and where it's headed. Well, this deep dive is for you. We've got a stack of sources, and basically our mission is to pull out those really vital nuggets of knowledge.
Yeah, it's a great topic.
Yeah.
Because this space, it's not just growing, it's constantly reshaping itself, like you said.
Constant.
Driven by data, mobile trends, new tech popping up all the time.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating how quickly it all shifts. Our material today, it gives us a really excellent snapshot, I think.
Yeah.
Crucial for anyone trying to, scale their visibility online.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. Our research points to some pretty significant forces, sort of the rocket fuel for PPC's rapid growth. First major driver. It's simply the huge shift to digital marketing, just across the board.
Yep. Massive.
Businesses are moving away from traditional methods, going digital first. And PPC really stands out there. It gives you that immediate visibility, sure, but maybe more importantly, measurable ROI and really precise targeting.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of moved marketing away from just spray and pray towards something much more data-driven, scientific almost.
And that digital shift, it's totally tied to the power of data, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Modern PPC platforms, they're not just ad placers, they're like feedback loops.
Right.
They give you these incredibly rich insights. We're talking click-through rates, conversion paths, really granular user behavior,
Yeah.
which means advertisers can fine-tune campaigns
Yeah.
like on the fly. Makes budgeting way smarter. You can adjust your strategy instantly for, truly personalized ads.
It's that agility, that transparency.
Exactly. That's what makes PPC so indispensable. Businesses aren't just buying eyeballs anymore. They're buying actionable insights into how consumers behave
Yeah.
at a scale we've, never seen before.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting, I think. How this connects to the mobile and e-commerce boom. Smartphones. I mean, for so many people, they aren't just a device, they're the primary digital device.
Oh, absolutely.
And our sources, they really highlight a fascinating adaptation here. PPC has totally embraced mobile. You've got these mobile-optimized ad formats everywhere. Google, Meta, Amazon, designed to drive clicks while people are out and about.
Mm-hmm. And they work.
Yeah. And as mobile commerce just keeps exploding, PPC is basically funneling traffic straight to apps, product pages, those responsive landing sites. It makes every dollar spent, hyper effective in this sort of on-the-go economy.
So yeah, if you look at those core elements,
Yeah.
it's pretty clear. That widespread digital adoption, the strong data capabilities, and just the dominance of mobile devices. Those are the key things driving PPC's growth. That often explosive expansion.
Right. But as PPC has rocketed forward, it's hit some turbulence too. So what are the speed bumps? What are advertisers actually facing according to our sources?
Yeah, good question.
First big one seems to be the increasing cost of competitive keywords. I mean, more players are jumping in, bidding wars are getting intense.
Especially in certain industries.
Exactly. Like finance, law, online retail, those really lucrative sectors, it's driving up the cost per click quite a bit.
That's a critical point, yeah.
Yeah.
And that higher cost makes it harder for, say, smaller businesses with tighter budgets.
Yeah.
Right. Unless they get really strategic with keyword planning, maybe long-tail keywords. Otherwise, the ROI just isn't there.
Yeah, low ROI is a killer.
And building on that, another challenge our sources mentioned is ad fatigue and something called banner blindness.
Banner blindness.
Yeah, basically users are just bombarded with ads everywhere, every day, so engagement drops. Banner blindness is that thing where people just subconsciously ignore banner ads because they've seen so many. They become invisible.
Huh.
So if ads are repetitive or they're not really tailored well, people just tune them out. It means marketers have to constantly refresh their creatives, test different ad formats, really personalize the content to cut through that noise, to keep things effective.
Makes sense. And then there's this other concern about relying so heavily on the big platform algorithms and their policies, which are always changing.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
I mean, most PPC campaigns live on Google Ads or Meta, right? So advertisers are kind of at the mercy of platform updates, one little tweak to an algorithm or a targeting rule.
And it can have a huge impact overnight sometimes.
Right, on visibility, on cost,
Right.
everything. And that constant need to adapt, it just adds this layer of complexity, especially tough for businesses maybe without a dedicated in-house expert watching things constantly.
True. But these challenges, while they're definitely significant, they also kind of push innovation in the market, don't they?
That's a good point.
It forces advertisers to ask, okay, how do we not just react, but actually get ahead of these things?
Okay, so let's talk about getting ahead then. Let's look at the future. Our sources are really buzzing about AI and automation in campaign management.
Mm-hmm. Big topic.
Platforms are rolling out tools, things like smart bidding, performance max, using machine learning to optimize everything, ad placement, targeting budgets.
Yeah, taking a lot of the manual work out.
Exactly, reducing manual work, boosting efficiency. And they're supposed to deliver better results because they're constantly learning from the live campaign data.
And those AI benefits, they go beyond just optimization, right? It's about that continuous learning loop for better results over time. Which also connects, I think, to another major trend we're seeing, the big shift towards video and other, rich visual PPC ads.
Video.
Video content is already king on places like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and PPC is definitely following suit. Brands are moving from static banners to these richer, interactive video ads, trying to really captivate viewers, boost engagement.
That must change things quite a bit.
Oh, fundamentally. Changes how you design creatives, how you allocate your ad spend. It's a different ballgame.
Okay, and then there's this really crucial development,
Yeah.
especially with, all the talk about privacy regulations tightening up, third-party cookies phasing out.
Privacy is huge now.
It's this increased focus on first-party data targeting. Think about what that means. Businesses are now having to build direct relationships with customers, collect consented data directly from them.
Yeah.
So for you as a consumer, maybe it means more transparent, hopefully more relevant ads based on how you actually interact with a brand directly.
That's exactly right. And this move towards, let's call it ethical, privacy-compliant advertising.
Yeah.
It's not just something you have to do anymore. It's actually becoming a real competitive advantage in the PPC space.
Right.
If we sort of connect this to the bigger picture, it's really all about building trust and making sure ads are relevant in a world that's, frankly, much more privacy conscious.
Okay, so to kind of wrap up our deep dive here, the PPC landscape, yeah, it definitely has its challenges. We talked about rising keyword costs, relying on those algorithms, but that powerful mix of data, mobile, video, and now AI and automation, it's fueling innovation like crazy, constantly reshaping how digital marketing works.
It is fascinating. We've talked so much about the tech, the data, the algorithms, but, at its heart, isn't PPC just a really sophisticated way to understand and, well, influence human behavior online?
That's a really interesting way to put it.
It makes me wonder that this raises an important question, I think. As AI handles more and more of the how, the optimization, the bidding, how we ensure the why, that authentic human connection and understanding doesn't get lost in all the automation, how will that balance continue to evolve?
That is a profound question, something to definitely chew on. We hope you keep exploring this space on your own, maybe reflect on what we've discussed and how it impacts your own digital life. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive.